My battery was like, do you have an Android phone?
So we're sitting here waiting
Have
for
no
the
Android plug.
Heavy Metal Mayhem radio show to
But see,
call.
you can send it to me on my phone. That's what's great.
There, he's on. Let me get down on the phone.
He's calling you.
Let me get you on the line. You gonna start recording?
Yes.
Speaking. Speaking, copy.
It is 4:14. We're about to get a call from the Heavy Metal Mayhem radio show.
I'm going.
And it's a coast-to-coast satellite radio show. Greg Hogan, however, is not in the show.
Mine.
4:14.
Good. You didn't know that.
Oh,
This big girl back here might eat you. You're not okay. You're okay. 16, so I don't need them.
and here we go. We should be calling.
Look, there's a dog. Look at Amy.
Call us when the show starts and pops
No.
up.
We'll start in 1 minute.
You know what I mean?
1 minute.
Bobby's back in this thing.
Is this some kind of bloody joke?
He's on a.
What's happening right now?
It's just
Like
calling.
19 videos of it.
We're not FaceTiming. We're calling. It's fine.
Hello?
Dan, this is Mike. You're on the. Dan, this is Mike. You're on the air. How are you?
I'm doing great, Mike. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great tonight. I'm talking to you on a Sunday night. And more important, Thynn Ice is finally going to get this album out to the masses after all these years.
Yeah, buddy. That's gonna be cool.
Absolutely, man. I mean, it's hard to believe that about Thynn. I mean, I don't know if you like, follow what's going on with the band on the internet and everything, but there's so much talk about this band and that album, but it really never saw the light of day.
No, it was held back by the original record company because there was some personal disputes, and it's amazing how much the guy held back from us. We took off after a concert in Hollywood at the Roxy, and we didn't bring the U-Haul back for about 3 days, and we kind of threw some concerts in, and he got pissed off and didn't release the album, man. It's like that. That happened.
That's
You know?
people don't realize how often or not that happens in this business.
Yeah, it was an interesting thing. We probably shouldn't have took the U-Haul and had those parties, but I'm glad we did because here we are 30 years later, still having fun, right?
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, the album really never came out back then. But yet everybody knows about it. Everybody has some bootleg copy or download of it somewhere, from over the time. But it's amazing how the reputation of your band built up over the decades just over that non-release, if you think about it.
Yeah, I'm really stoked about that. I think that it's because a lot of the music was written. I wrote a lot of that stuff when I was 17 years old, man. You can hear like the rawness of the attitudes in some of that stuff when you're a kid, when you write stuff, you know what I mean? That's kind of what I think might be the case. I have no idea actually how it got overseas. I'm glad it did. I'm sure that someone got paid, but I didn't. But it's nice that I get calls all the time from Zurich, Switzerland, from Spain, from Germany, and all over Europe. And we never even toured over there.
Yeah, it really is incredible when you think about it. But not a lot is known about the band or how it got started, how things went down. So let's kind of go back to the beginning. I mean, most people know about the band like I want to say mid-80s, 84, 85. Is
Yeah.
that when it got going?
Yeah, about like that, yeah. And we, if you listen to the lyrics on the song "Thynn Ice," it's written. Those lyrics were written by the other guitarists, and we were all working hard at the time. You have to. It takes money to make money, and we all had jobs, and one of us worked in a refinery where they had locker searches and drug sniffing dogs all the time. That's in the song, and I had to cut my hair and put a tie on at first, and that's in the song. And a lot of the lyrics to the song Thynn Ice describe how we all had to live. You know, one verse talks about old lady, she ain't working, expects me to pay them bills, and she doesn't know the Thynn Ice feeling. She doesn't know she's just cheap thrills. We all worked hard. You had to back then, you know. And it was a whole other time. It was a completely different time in the 80s, right? Am I right?
Oh, you have to tell me. It was like night and day compared to today.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, so the thing got started around that time. If I remember, it was Jeff Toon who was the original singer of the band for a year or so.
Yeah. That's very good. Yeah. Where'd you get that from, man? That's deep stuff there.
I know my stuff. I'm Italian. I got my contact.
Yeah. That dude was so cool. He was so cool. Jeff wrote, you know, he actually did contribute some lyrics in the early days, and I love Jeff. We all went to high school together back then at Concord High School in Concord, California. And I'm talking to you from Mount Canocti right now. I live on a volcano now up here in Lake County, beautiful up here in Clear Lake, California. But Jeff was a bricklayer, and he was a drinker, and he would swing that microphone around at practice, and if you didn't duck, you know, whoa. Yeah, he was a lot like Bon Scott. He was a lot like Bon Scott. We had a lot of fun with Jeff.
Was there anything recorded with him?
Only old tapes, man. Only old tapes. I've got some Garage Days stuff that, you know, in the future, now that we're dealing with No Remorse Records like we are, it's possible that I might get together with Chris and our record guy and talk about doing some kind of Garage Days stuff, because I do have some very good copies of some old tapes, you know, but I'm talking about cassettes, man. You know what I mean? We used to have this one boom box, and it made some really good recordings. That was long.
Yeah, we sure did. I mean,
Yeah.
I would love to hear that. I thought he was a great singer. I mean, he was in another thing called Thynn Ice, if I remember.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and Simon, our other guitarist, that's where we got him, our bass player, Jimbo. We all went to Concord High School, and Simon and Dim Viper, with Jeff Toon singing, was on the KFRC after-school dance party on television after school one day. And oh, God, when you're 16 years old and your fellow classmates are in another band, you know, I was just like, holy shit, I got to get home to see this. And I remember sitting in the living room floor of my parents' house watching my buddies on TV. Oh, it pissed me off. I was like, I want to rock. What the hell? They're on TV now with this shit? They played the song "Runnin' Mean," which is on the album actually, but it was originally written by Simon and Jeff in that band Din Viper, which, you know, it was a very kind of a kiddie kind of a name. You know what the name means? Did you ever research that?
No, I have no idea.
It was in I think the early 1900s. There was a guy in England that used to go around ripping women's chest off. It was a horrible name for a band.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of information to put
Yeah.
down. Oh, man. How was that version compared to the one that you guys did? Was it a completely different take on it?
Actually, a lot different. I at the time he had Simon was playing with another guy we went to high school with named Scott Huckabee, who's an incredible guitarist. But I put a different twist on it, and we added a little bit. The harmony lead parts are a lot different, and basically what I added to it, I kind of put a slightly different arrangement to it and added my leads and did the harmonies different with Simon. But the lyrics and the arrangement were pretty similar to the original, you know. So, but on the album with Mike singing it, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the fact that the vocalist that's on the Thynn Ice recording has passed away. Mike Ramey is no longer with us, the vocalist here.
No, I didn't know that. He passed on, yeah.
Yeah, the one on the album is he died a few years back of throat cancer, man. Of all things, you know, for a guy that sings like a bird.
Wow.
And I compare him to Ronnie James a lot, man. If you listen to the song Life and Death on the album, he sounds a lot like Ronnie James Dio, and I really just love the guy's vocals. And it's just a trip how life can be, you know. You're blessed with a voice like that, and you end up with a hole in your freaking throat, you know. It's a trip. Yeah.
It really is.
So.
I mean, I guess he came into the band about a year or so after you guys started out, right?
Well, actually, a few years after, we had another guy that we used to do a lot of gigs with, and Mike was actually only with us for, I think he played with us for one of the Y&T shows, but you know, we did stuff with Saxon with a guy named John Darcy, who was my roommate for a long time, and he wasn't as good of a vocalist, but he had a PA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we went to high school.
You were in the band.
Yeah, that's right. Back then, that mattered, man. He had some good gear. He didn't sing as good as the other guy, but he looked like Ozzy though, and he was real cool. And if you look at the old pictures, a lot of those old pictures, if you see a guy singing, that's not Mike, that'd be John. But he did the Saxon shows and the Vinnie Vincent, the Pat Travers stuff. But a lot of stuff with Vicious Rumors too. I miss that guy Carl. Did you ever know Carl from Vicious Rumors? You know them?
I didn't know him personally, but I know him from the band and the music. You know, he passed away a while ago.
Yeah, God, he made a good kamikaze, that guy. He was also a bartender at that club that we played at the Omni. It was John Nady owned the Omni. You know, he was the original creator of the wireless setup. So he had a lot of rock stars come through his club that would be like all-star jam night. And a lot of times, Carl from Vicious Rumors would be behind the bar, and you'd see like Phil Collins from Def Leppard and guys from Tesla and Slash would be sitting in the corner. It was amazing, the freaking rock stars that would come through John Nady's club, and it was unadvertised. It would never advertise it, you know. It was just kind of underground shit. But you would see a lot of people at his club because they all knew him, you know. And we were blessed to get our foot in the door there, and we did a lot of cool shit there, you know.
So really, Mike was really, I guess, only in the band around the time of the record and the recording. That was about his only stint with the band, but he got on the record.
Yeah, and he went to Hollywood with us. He did do Y&T gigs with us, and his vocals were phenomenal. But Mike, he was a really emotional guy, like a lot of vocalists that sing really good like that. You know, it's hard to find a guy that sings like that doesn't have emotional problems. You know what I mean? Guy could sing like a bird, but he was also cried a lot. You know, so it's a trip.
That's what happens with those guys sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you had like 3 singers in a short period of time. Was it hard to like kind of define the band's sound or style with, you know, with different singers, or was it really just based on the music that you were writing?
Well, the album really was where the direction we always wanted to go with that vocalist with Mike. But and it's interesting you say that, because I wrote all the melody lines, and it's interesting for me because I sing too, and it was always used to bum me out. I'm like, yeah, I can do this. I don't want to do it. I'd rather be the lead guitar player than the front man. So it's funny because as the guy that's making up the melodies, it was tough to put. We actually tried out a couple guys after Mike left and tried to carry on for a little further, and it's just really tough to do with you know, people with no talent. It's tough to find. But you know, should we need to tour this album? I've had 30 years to come up with someone that can fill those shoes. So I have a couple of candidates that could come to Europe with us and take care of that business, no problem, and we're ready to go. That's for sure.
That would be great. What was the album recorded then? When was it officially recorded, or recorded getting ready to be released? What was like the time for that?
Okay, I see online all kind of different shit about 1992 or 1990 or 1991. It was somewhere in there. It was recorded at night, Mike. It was recorded at night in Old West Recording Studios in San Francisco. At like, we start at midnight and we go till like 6, you know. And there was a grand piano that a lot of things were done on. And it's kind of blurry is what I'm getting at. You know, it was a long time. I want to say 90. I want to say 90, but I see online they call it 1992. I don't think it was 1992 because I was incarcerated in 1993. So.
Well, I'll have to get that out there. Try to get yourself on this one.
Not for anything bad. I was just a driver on a suspended license, but they don't take that. They take that seriously in some parts of California. You ever notice that?
Yeah, but crazy movie with it today.
Yeah, that's a fact. Oh.
So it was really the early 90s it came out. You know, it was supposed to come out in the early 90s. Like you said, the guy was just being spiteful about it because of the band incident, you know, the cool incident.
No, if anyone wants to.
Shot, he tried
I was gonna say, if anybody wants to send hate mail to Alexander Pamphilov is the name of the guy, and yeah, that's the dude that held out on Thynn Ice world. If there are any Thynn Ice fans listening that sought this album all those years, Alexander Pamphilov, go get him. No, I'm just joking. Don't do anything bad. He's actually a good guy. He's just a dick that didn't release my album.
So, I mean, he would have released the record, so really you're kind of like in between a rock and a hard place, because the labels had kind of, control of everything, so they couldn't put it out.
Yeah.
You guys just sitting and twiddling your thumbs, but you can do that.
Yeah, it wasn't a great deal to begin with. I think I signed probably a more lucrative deal with the re-release. It was not. We were pretending to make a lot from that guy anyway, and I was supposed to give him 2 more albums. I have a lot more music from the '80s that's unreleased, a lot of it, and so it's a possibility we could grow this up into something that we're going to see how this album. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? And I think maybe somebody does. It's pretty good shit. I actually still like it.
A lot of people do. I mean, did you realize it was such a empowerment to your band? After all these years, you took 30 years go by, and people still talk about what you did back then, and what they really never really got.
No, I did not have any idea, and I'm shocked at my age. My guitarist has sold 3 of the test pressings recently in the last couple of years. God, he pisses me off. You want to hear a funny story? Simon, God bless him, Simon Bryant, and I know you're listening, Simon. I think you are. He sold for $1,000. I'm not making this up. It's only got 9 songs on it. They're looking for it all over for the original test pressings, and they keep calling me. And I sit these guys on Simon. I'm like, dude, these guys keep emailing me from Zurich, Switzerland, from all over the world, trying to get the original copy. I keep telling them I know a guy, but I don't really give a shit because I ain't getting anything out of it. And I'm pissed off that I don't have a copy myself. I'm like, no, I don't have a copy. So I call Simon. I'm like, dude, I don't know if you care, but these people are really interested in one of those test pressings you have. And so, a few years goes by, and Simon says, I sold one of them to a guy in New Hampshire, and one of them to a guy. If that guy's listening, he's probably going, that's me. He's got the album, that son of a bitch, for $1,000 you paid, though. You paid $1,000. And you know what? That used to belong to me, because I gave it to Simon for an 1/8 of pot in 1982, and I was pissed, because it only cost me $30 back then for an 1/8 of pot. And I was like, damn it. I traded it for weed, dude, I did. And it's like, he got $1,000 30 years later, and I'm like, and don't think he didn't throw that in my face. Simon calls me up, he goes, dude, remember when you gave me that record for $30 for an 1/8 of pot? I just sold it for $1,000, and guess what he bought? Guess what he bought with the $1,000? A freaking badass Charvel, solid neck through. It's like from the '80s. It's sick. He sent me a picture. I'm like, you better let me play that fucking thing. Excuse my language. Yeah, true story. So that's happened 3 times. People care. They've been paying. If I had a copy, I could sell it to someone for $1,000. I don't though. Maybe in 30 years, the No Remorse ones will be worth that. You right?
You never know. Well, I mean, was this the first time you contacted anybody about re-releasing or getting that album out, or were there other offers that started coming in? The internet changed everything around for people. It was easy to find band members and get in touch with people. Were there any offers, or was No Remorse the first one that came out and said, you know what, I want to get this out to the masses?
Actually, about a decade went by, Mike, and a lot of people were emailing me when I lived in Concord, and then I moved to Antioch, and the whole time, about a whole decade before we did this, 5 or 6 other people from different fly-by-night was what I would call them, kind of labels, and I wasn't really that interested, and I like Chris, and I think that what we're doing with him is going to work out just fine. So we decided to. The thing that actually, the fact that Simon sold those records for $1,000 a copy kind of opened our eyes a little bit. And I told Simon, I go, seriously, dude, maybe we should talk to one of these guys that keeps emailing us from freaking Europe, And I think the guy, I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure we're out of Spain or in Greece with our No Remorse label, but they are. They seem like they're going to get some records out over there, and I'm just real happy that this is, someone's going to get to hear it, right? That's what it's all about. I don't make music so it can sit on a shelf. It kind of pissed me off for 30 years. It really, really did.
Yeah, I can imagine, because, I mean,
Yeah.
the end of the 80s going into the early 90s. So you never know where things could have went if people had gotten a hold of it.
Yeah, well, what pissed David Geffen from Geffen Records actually sent us a record. We were shopping labels, Columbia, different shit, you know. But Geffen sent me a letter about the song Thynn Ice, and they wanted, of all songs, I didn't think it was that great. They wanted that as a single, and they only wanted the one song. I wanted, but this idiot other company that we signed with, that I've known for a long time, I definitely should have went with Geffen, and then the world would have, that would have opened the door, and we would have actually been putting music out there through a company that's going to actually put it out in the public's hands. And I've always kicked myself for not giving Geffen that one song and going with Primetime Records for 9 songs, because guess what? 30 years went by and nobody ever heard anything. I would have rather they heard one song, you know? So, but here, like I said,
I guess you were thinking of the big picture back then. You know, you wanted to get that whole record out. So.
Yep, that's what I thought. You know, it's funny how things are hindsight's 20/20. Huh? You're around. I think you're around my age. I see from the looks of you, right?
Yeah, I'm up there.
Yeah. Hey, whoa! I didn't say I was up there. I just said you were my age, man.
No, I'm in the north end of the 50s now. So,
Yeah.
I'm in the north end of the 50s, so we're getting-
Yeah. I just hit 54, and I was born in '65, but I was raised by my uncles, and they taught me how to play guitar on that old shit. You know, it's different. It was so different back then. You know what I mean? It's just all different. Nobody pushed any button. There weren't no buttons to push to make your freaking tracks loop. You don't have no freaking drum machines. You had actual talented people, and if they weren't as good at it as someone else, you could hear that. I mean, you know, and we all watched freaking Hee Haw, man. You know.
And Frank Foster.
Yep.
Frank Foster's an amazing guitar player.
Yeah, buddy.
Absolutely
Amazing.
amazing. Yeah. So, what did Thynn Ice? When did you kind of like pack in Thynn Ice? When did it officially come to an end?
Well, I want to say, not too far after the album, we did that. We went down and played some gigs, and we played in Lake Elsinore. We played at the Roxy in Hollywood, and we came back, and Mike, the vocalist, he went back to his old gig with Scarlet as an old band, and they were kind of like Coolie Rock, more of a hair band. And we were never into that shit. We were always more Maiden, Priest, Saxon, and stuff like that. So when he stopped singing for us, I really wanted him to come back and do what we were doing because he did it so well. But he moved back to West Virginia, and at that point, a lot was changing in society too. The arena rock was dying. It was just freaking everything that we were wanting to do was change. You remember, all of a sudden, grunge is going in, and my freaking job's gone. Hey, where the hell did the lead guitar player go? What the fuck? There's not even no lead guitar in this anymore. That kind of shit. In the fucking 90s, that's what happened, dude. And we lost our jobs. Music changed. It did.
I know, it was bad.
It was trippy, and I'm just stoked
You
that.
know about music completely too?
I'm just stoked that, in Europe, goddamn, you go look at a freaking Iron Maiden concert, dude. It's bigger than NASCAR over there still. They know how to rock over there still. And I'm very flattered that they give a shit about anything I did when I was a kid. And if I have the opportunity, I'm going to rock the fuck out of them. I really hope I get the opportunity too, because I ain't done. I mean, I play better than I've ever played in my life. And I just really hope that we get the opportunity to go over there. I've got a lot of family in Holland. I'm Dutch as hell. And and I can go over there and kick some ass in Germany. I can kick some ass in Germany and sleep in Holland. It'll be great,
Well, I think after this album gets re-released, there's going to be offers to head over to Europe for a lot of those festivals with you guys.
I really hope so. I'd love to.
After Thynn Ice broke up, did you give up on music completely? I know the scene changed. Did you give up on music back then? Did you just stop playing?
No, I actually started playing in a Christian rock band, man, for a while with my uncle who passed away. And I did a lot of stuff with him that I cared about. I did a lot of stuff for the homeless. We just kind of did what we could with our hearts, and tried to make music in different ways. And but yeah, you do the soul searching thing. It was right around my freaking 30 years old. I turned, and I had a son at the time. My son Thomas was born when I was 29 years old, and I ended up being a single dad for like 9 years. I raised that boy. And I got a wonderful wife when he was 9 years old. I've been married to her ever since. So we're going on 15 years of marriage now, and so that was a lot going on personally and stuff. But I can't ever stop playing music. I play drums, guitar. I write music all the time. So I actually have a lot of tunes that I have recorded over the years. I started doing a lot of Satriani kind of shit with drum machines and stuff, you know, and I've got a lot of different stuff that I've been doing. But yeah, as far as playing out publicly, I did concerts with a Christian rock band, but it wasn't like no Striper kind of stuff. It was more just I was like redoing metal songs and trying to, you know, just doing what we could. But that was quite a few years ago. And now that I live up here on this mountain, I don't really play much. I just kind of watch other people play. A lot of music goes on in Lake County, around Clear Lake.
Nice. Well, with the re-release of the album, is it the same line songs that are on there? Or is anything related to it? Or anything different done to it?
That's the same 9 songs originally recorded. There was a song called "The Reason" that never made it on there. That should have been a 10-song album, but there are a lot of songs. Back then we had, oh, I can't even count. There's two other albums that are ready to go if you know, depending on what we want to do at our age. But yeah, original 9 songs, definitely the original 9 songs.
So there is a good chance that we could get more records from you guys now if this kind of goes where you want it to go, which I think it's going to.
Yeah, probably. Jimbo, our bass player, he just bought some property up in Oregon, and he's supposed to head through here. He's actually, I was going to surprise you, he was supposed to be here now, but you know how bass players are. Son of a bitch didn't show up.
I'm a bass player myself, so I know.
But he comes by, and when he does, we still rock a lot of that old stuff, and it always amazes us how much of that shit it's so simple to throw together. And honestly, we opened for Pat. Here's a good example. We opened for Pat Travers' band at the Stone, which isn't there anymore. It was a great club on Broadway in San Francisco. And one Saturday night, we were opening for Pat Travers' band. And Pat made us stop 6 songs into a 12-song set. And that's kind of like how I feel about life right now, what Pat did to us back then. I was pissed because we were saving the best for last, you know what I mean? And that son of a bitch, he made me stop 6 songs because we were killing him, and he knew it. Hey, you hear me, Pat? Are you listening? I'm coming for you. Ah! He knows. You know, Daniel D. You know what? You don't have Pat Thrall. You don't have Pat. He don't have Pat Thrall no more. He don't have Tommy Alders no more. I can kick you now, Pat. I can get you, Pat. I'm better than you. No, I'm just fucking with you, Pat Travers. I'm just fucking with you, Pat Travers. I grew up on you. You were on my wall. I had your poster. That's a true story, though. Yeah, we were pissed. Hey, and it wasn't just a shitty thing to do. He did it with his stage manager with a 357 Magnum in his belt, like a shiny nickel-plated one, dude. And he pulls his shirt back and shows us again, hey, orders of Pat Travers. And he said he was going to pull the plug. And we're like, God damn. I'm not making this up. That's how things were in San Francisco on Broadway. True story.
Unbelievable.
They used to love Death Angel.
You had to play a set back. That would hit the big songs first.
Yeah, and honestly, we kept the, always save the best for last. And like I said, with these albums and stuff, yeah, hopefully we will get a chance to share some more of that, because I got stuff that makes that album look like child's play. And it was. I wrote that when I was 17. I love that music. You can't make that shit up again, the stuff that you wrote when you were a kid. You know, it just comes out of a different era. There's one song in the album called Society's Child that you can tell that I was incarcerated when I wrote it. I was in there for driving on a suspended license. Again, I'm not a criminal, folks. I was just really a shitty driver. But anyway. But the song Society's Child on the album, anyone who's listening, look at the lyrics. You can totally tell. It says, I was looking out my window wishing that I could be living the life that I once knew before they took it from me. That's how the song goes. it's youth, you know. Thank God you learned your lesson. Yeah.
And it's a great record. And I can't wait for it. I only got like 10 minutes left of the show, and I want to play a couple of songs by the band, so I'm going to have to cut you loose. But I can't wait for this release to come out, man, because nobody really has any copy of it, like a hard copy. It's rare.
I'm stoked.
There's only 3 people that bought the $1,000 copy. Nobody else has one. So it's
Yeah.
going to be a big deal for a lot of us fans to get actual physical copy of this record in like 30 years.
I am really stoked about it, Mike, and thank you very much for talking to me. I'm very stoked about it, and I would be happy to bullshit with you anytime. You seem like a hell of a guy. Maybe we can hang out sometime or whatever. And I really appreciate the interview, man. That's totally cool. Thanks for the leg up and all that.
Dan, it's my pleasure, man. It's my pleasure. I've been a big fan of the band for a long time, and I'm glad that, finally this is coming out and he's going to get rolling here. So I'm hoping that it turns into a lot more for you
Hell yeah. Cool, Mike.
Hey, you got it, my friend. You have a great afternoon out there. I'll talk to you real soon, buddy. Take care,
You
man.
too, man. Bye bye. I'll turn my music now.
Now I'm gonna go listen to your music.